Hello and welcome to MarketSquare, your go-to show for deep insights into businesses and economic trends. I'm Olaiton Adebayo, and today we are diving into key developments impacting lives and livelihoods across Nigeria. Stay with us as we break down these developments. Welcome back to MarketSquare. Let's get straight into it. In the face of Nigeria's economic challenges, marked by rising inflation, subsidy removals, and currency devaluation, budgeting has become an essential tool for many citizens striving to manage their finances more effectively. But what does budgeting really mean to the everyday Nigerian? Let's hear from Nigerians as they share the definition of budgeting.
Yeah, thanks. For me, I see budget as a good thing. I see it as a way of managing one's financial life. Because with budget, you have everything well arranged, you have everything well planned. It comes in a place of doing things in a proper way and doing things in a systematic and in a way that one can believe, okay, yeah, I don't go beyond what I'm supposed to spend maybe for the week, what I'm supposed to spend maybe for the month. Because with budgets, you have all your financial goals, all everything aligned in a way that is accurate, in a way that is you know well understood by you yourself. That's the way I see budget, and I view budget as for me personally.
So for me, budgeting is the first step to making a good financial decision. It helps me to prioritize how and when to spend my money and allowance. So if you want to think of it as me having 100% salary and me just breaking it into what is important and what is not important. So, or me wanting to go to a market, of course, I want to buy everything in the market, but do I want everything in the market or need everything in the market? So, budgeting helps me to know what I really want in the market or what I really need in the market. Yeah, so that's all. That's it for budgeting.
Personally, I think budgeting is segmenting your income so that you can channel your money appropriately. As Nigerians, we have this tendency or this impulsive behavior to just buy whatever we can see when we have money. So it's something that happens every time. So, maybe you just got your salary and the next thing you are thinking of just to go and buy the next shawarma or, just order maybe a pizza and that's not enough. Maybe just go to Kilimanjaro, just enjoy yourself a bit and get something like a basmati rice or something. But then when you budget, it helps you to put your income, channel your income properly. Well, it's one thing to budget, is another thing to be disciplined enough to follow your budget. So that's another thing. But then that's what budgeting does just for you. Um, does for you. And by the way, also you need to know how much your income is, how much you earn for you to be able to do your budgeting.
The 50-30-20 rule is a popular budgeting framework that suggests allocating 50% of your income to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings and debt repayment. It's a simple and widely recommended method for managing personal finances designed to help individuals maintain a balanced budget while saving for the future. In theory, this structure promotes a balanced financial life. However, in practice, many Nigerians find this percentage challenging to maintain. As inflation eats deeper into incomes, and many people find themselves spending a higher percentage of their money on essential things like food, transport, and this model has become much more difficult to maintain. Transportation alone can take up as much as 30% of a person's income before food, rent, or power supply are even factored in. In many cases, Nigerians are forced to reallocate their budgets not based on ideal financial planning, but on immediate survival needs. But the big question is, how well does this structure hold up under the weight of Nigerians' current economic realities? To understand this better and to bring real experiences into spotlight, we reach out to everyday Nigerians to hear the budgeting strategy. Take a listen.
People have a lot of budgeting strategies. There's a whole lot. Formerly I was using, okay, I pay my tithe 10%, and save. I think I was doing, how was that save? Was it 10 or 20%? Then I spent the remaining 70%. Then I think I watched a video one time and the guy was saying spend 50% of your income, you know. And me, I said, okay, let me try this. So, and it worked, even though not every month. Okay, so basically, 50% of whatever comes in, 50%, and then 10% for tithe, which is paramount. It can be more, but not less than that. Then um 30% for savings, sometimes can be 20, but let's just say 30% for savings. A part of savings is for investment. The second part is actually for buying, saving towards a goal. And then we have another, how many is that? 50, 10, 30, that's 90. So then the remaining 10 will be for giving and the enjoyment. So sometimes the savings can be 20%. So you have spend 50%, save 20%, tithe 10%, then 10% for giving, 10% for enjoyment, and anger. Just take care of yourself. But then sometimes 50% for giving, 30% and 30% for savings, 10% for tithe, then 5% for giving, and then enjoyment. You must be wondering, why is enjoyment there? I mean, it is crucial, that, oh, you have cravings, and you want to get something, that, oh, you have a money to do that every month. So even if you don't want to be frivolous, at least you can do that once in a while.
And for me, the strategy I use for budgeting is the 50-30-20 strategy, which basically is needs, save, sorry, needs, want, and save, right? So you want to think of the first 50% as the need, the things that you need to survive. Want is the things that you want to, just be a person, and savings is or save is um your 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 fallback plan, so yeah. And when it comes to the 50%, which is the need, I basically survive on it. And then my wants, impulsive buying, black tags, and giving to people fall in this category. And then 30% falls into my savings. However, in cases where I see defeat, I can spend more than that 20% on savings, or even needs amount. I can spend more than the stipulated amount. It depends on what exactly is going on and what season it is. Thank you.
I mean, for my budget strategy, I take a look at my expenses. I take a look at my income as well. So that helps me in building my budget. Depends on, okay, let's say monthly now. So if I have a budget for a month, and I try to look at what comes in and what goes out, so I don't overuse and overspend. The purpose of budget is to be able to spend decently, to me. So it has to be that I'm focusing on the financial goal. I'm focusing on what is, what I intend to use, my finances for the month. um in that way, I'm able to, have a good strategy.
What we heard was revealing. For some, budgeting means tracking everyday naira to ensure that family eats and bills are paid. For others, it's about shifting priorities, cutting down on non-essentials, and finding creative ways to stretch income. Several respondents noted that they've abandoned the 50-30-20 rule entirely. Instead, some follow a 70-20-10 model where 70% goes to needs, 20% to savings, and just 10% covers wants. Others have had to push voluntary spending down to nearly zero just to keep up with the daily expenses. Let's take a closer look at why 50-30-20 rule falls short in Nigeria. Inflation has made the cost of needs like food, rent, and transport skyrocket. In many cities, transportation alone can consume up to 30% of a person's income. Adding rising utility bills and school fees and the needs category quickly overtakes the recommended 50%. Currency devaluation has also weakened the Naira's purchasing power, especially for imported goods. And for many Nigerians working informally on unstable jobs, income is not always consistent, making fixed percentage budgeting tough to apply. As a result, some people are adjusting the model, shifting to 70-20-10 or even 80-10-10, where wants are drastically reduced and more funds are allocated to essential needs and emergency savings. Still, the importance of budgeting cannot be overrated. Even when the rulebook does not fit, creating a personal system that reflects your reality can provide a sense of control and direction. In these challenging times, adapting your financial strategy is not just important, it is very essential. The traditional 50-30-20 rule may no longer serve you well in today's Nigeria, but with a few adjustments, you can create a budget that reflects the current economic realities and set you on the path to financial security. As budgeting becomes more than just a financial strategy in Nigeria, but a survival tool, a new challenge emerges: the federal government's ban on certain solar panel imports, a move critics could say worsened power shortages, especially in underserved communities. Nigeria may soon face a major setback in its energy transition efforts as the federal government finalizes plans to ban the importation of solar panels. This move is expected to drive up the cost of solar installation by as much as 150%, worsen energy poverty, and increase the cost of doing businesses, especially for small enterprises increasing dependence on renewable energy to survive rising energy prices. The ban comes despite the national grid's inability to meet current power demands. Stakeholders warn that limiting access to affordable imported solar panels could derail efforts to expand off-grid power solutions, which are vital for millions of Nigerians who live without reliable electricity. Solar panel assembly plant with a planned capacity of about 1,531 megawatts across Lagos, Enugu, Nasarawa, and other locations are set to dominate the market. Local players are poised to benefit significantly, raising fears of potential cartel that could control pricing and supply. Concerns are growing that such market dominance combined with the ban on imports would create monopolistic conditions detrimental to affordability and accessibility. For many Nigerians, solar energy has become a lifeline, providing a way to escape the persistent failures of the national power grid and the rising cost of petrol and diesel. However, the planned ban threatens to cut off the vital alternative. A typical household that previously needed around 500,000 to install a 1 kVA solar system would now have to find about 1.2 million naira. For an average home requiring a 5 kVA system, the cost could climb to 6 million naira, an impossible burden for most families. Small businesses, many of whom switch to solar power to reduce running costs, would also be affected. The cost of installing a 10 kVA system could surge to around 12 million naira, forcing many entrepreneurs to either scale down operations, close shops, or return to expensive and polluting diesel generators. This could mean job losses, high prices for goods and services, and deeper economic hardship for everyday people. In rural areas and low-income urban communities where off-grid solar solutions are beginning to bridge the energy gap, progress may stall completely. Many households that have started to enjoy stable power supply for lighting, mobile phone charging, refrigeration, and small businesses could find themselves plunged back into darkness. The ban could also worsen inflation. Higher energy costs mean that the prices of food, basic goods, and services could rise even further, eroding purchasing power at a time when many families are already struggling to meet daily needs. Critics argue that local solar production is not yet mature enough to meet the growing demand. Imported panels are cheaper and much more readily available. Forcing Nigerians to rely solely on limited and most expensive local products could create scarcity, lower quality, and drive prices up even much more further, making solar energy an elite option rather than a solution for the masses. Many experts have warned that instead of imposing a sudden ban, the government should first strengthen local manufacturing, support quality assurance, encourage competition, and expand access to affordable financing for households and businesses seeking solar solutions. Without such steps, the solar panel import ban risks rolling back the modest gains Nigeria has made in renewable energy access, further entrenching poverty and leaving millions of ordinary Nigerians trapped in energy insecurity. Amid economic uncertainty and infrastructure gaps, a quiet revolution is unfolding in the business sector. Across Africa, digital tools are no longer luxury, they're becoming a necessity, but for many SMEs, the journey towards going digital is riddled with challenges. From poor infrastructure to limited financial access, the hurdles are significant, yet IT have emerged as a powerful catalyst, driving change where it is most needed. Digital transformation is not just about having a website or a mobile app, it's the deep integration of technology into how a business operates, engage customers, and deliver values. For many SMEs in Africa, it's about survival, growth, and relevance in a rapidly shifting economy. Small and medium enterprises play a critical role in Africa's economy. They make up nearly 70 to 80% of all businesses and are responsible for a significant share of employment. But without access to the right tools, many of them struggle to scale or adapt to digital economy. In countries like Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, and Egypt, the presence of mobile technology and improved internet penetration has helped SMEs take major steps forward. But even in this much more connected market, digital transformation remains uneven. One of the most transformative tools for SMEs is data. Businesses that know how to collect, interpret, and use data are gaining a serious edge in the logistics space. Digital tools are allowing businesses to automate their supply. Through mobile platform, businesses can now manage deliveries, monitor inventory, and even predict customer demand. This has reduced waste, improved customer services, and saved costs. But let's take a deeper look at how IT specifically benefits SMEs across Africa. IT is proving to be a much more than just a support tool. It's a game changer. From internal operations to customer engagement, IT is helping SMEs streamline, grow, and compete in ways that were once unthinkable. Let's begin with efficiency and automation. Many African SMEs previously relied on manual methods to run their operations, paper records, face-to-face transactions, and physically inventory tracking. IT has introduced systems that allow for automations of everyday tasks, whether it is payroll, inventory management, or invoicing. SMEs now have access to digital tools that reduce human error and free up time for more strategic tasks. Tools like QuickBooks for accounting or Zoho for CRMs are enabling small businesses to operate with the precision of larger corporations. Then there is the cost-saving impact. While the upfront investment in technology can be significant, the long-term savings are substantial. Businesses save on labor, paper-based processes, travel costs, and communication expenses. For instance, using cloud-based platforms eliminates the need for physical servers or on-site IT teams, which can be costly. SMEs now store, share, and protect data online, reducing infrastructure costs and improving accessibility. Customer experience is another area where IT is delivering real results. With tools like Customer Relationship Management System, SMEs can track customer preferences, manage communication, and provide personalized services. Chatbots and AI-powered help desks are giving even small businesses the ability to respond to inquiries 24/7, something that was previously only possible to large companies with big budgets. Data-driven decision-making has also become much more accessible. SMEs no longer have to rely on guesswork with digital analytics. They can understand who their customers are, what they want, and how best to reach them. Security is another critical advantage. Although cybersecurity remains a challenge, IT tools offer SMEs protection through firewalls, encryption, and access control. Small businesses can now safeguard their data and transactions against fraud and theft, something that is increasingly important in the digital economy. IT also opens the door to collaboration and networking. Through cloud-based platforms like Microsoft Teams, Slack, or Zoom, SMEs can collaborate with partners, customers, and remote workers in real time. It breaks down geographical barriers and enables knowledge sharing that fuels innovation. We cannot talk about digital transformation without addressing the challenges. The first and most obvious is infrastructure. Many parts of Africa still lack reliable power supply and consistent internet. For a business trying to operate online, even a short power outage can mean lost sales or disrupted service. Then there's the issue of digital skills. Africa faces a shortage of more than 200 million digital jobs, according to the African Union. Without trained workers, SMEs cannot build or maintain a system they need to grow. Cybersecurity is another growing concern. As businesses move online, they become more vulnerable to attacks. Most SMEs do not have the resources to invest in strong digital security, putting them at risk. But despite these challenges, change is happening. The African Development Bank is investing heavily in digital initiatives. One example is the SME Business Linkage Platform, launched in Madagascar. These two connect local SMEs with larger companies, increasing access to contracts and partnerships. The bank has also pledged $500 million to support tech startups and small businesses across Africa. This funding is helping build ecosystems where SMEs can thrive. Digital transformation is not just a one-time event, it's a continuous journey. It requires investment, skills, and a mindset open to change. But as we have seen, the potential is enormous. Across Africa, SMEs that embrace digital tools are becoming more competitive, more resilient, and better positioned for the future. From mobile payment to cloud computing, from data analytics to e-commerce, the possibilities are endless. The question is no longer whether African SMEs can go digital. The question is no longer whether African SMEs can go digital. The question is how fast they can do it and who will lead the way. And that's it for today on MarketSquare. From financial survival to digital innovation, decisions we make now shape the continent's economic future. I'm Olaitan Adebayo. Thanks for watching and see you next time.